Hey, where the
Fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive.
women at?
Let me tell y'all a story. I was talking to a woman some years back, and I gotta say talking, I can't even say dating because it was really just something casual. But she had kids. One of her sons was like 17, 18 years old. I get a text message at 2 o'clock in the morning talking about come through. I think the house is empty, so I show up for Bible study. Long story short, praise and worship starts getting extremely loud, and the headboard starts hitting the wall.
Check out this story.
Somebody tagged me in a post, and the post said, how do black men grow up with single mothers and don't have respect for black women? Let me tell y'all a story. I was talking to a woman some years back, and I gotta say talking, I can't even say dating because it was really just something casual. But she had kids. One of her sons was like 17, 18 years old. I get a text message at 2 o'clock in the morning talking about come through. I think the house is empty, so I show up for Bible study. Long story short, praise and worship starts getting extremely loud, and the headboard starts hitting the wall, and she says, oh, we gotta be quiet. My son's in the other room. Whole time I've been banging on this man's wall. I ain't even know it. I ain't signed up for that. Low key, I felt bad for Buddy. The next morning comes, I hear him washing dishes, walking around the house, talking to his homeboy about playing Call of Duty and all that. It's time for me to go, and I say, hey, I don't think it's best that your son sees me. She says, oh, he'll be all right. I'd even taken into account how any of that may affect him. And it concerned me because how many men has he seen come in and out of his house like that? How can he respect another woman when a random man cares more about his well-being than his own mom? A lot of times y'all ask that mother respect question assuming that the mother was respectable.
So when videos like these make the rounds, they draw sometimes a very strong reaction because it points to some of the trauma that people have experienced. And so I want to detail some of the responses that I came across in watching this video. I literally went through the exact situation, except she had two sons. They were 14 and 10, if I remember correctly. She treated those boys horribly too, constantly trying to treat them like they were girls and didn't allow any masculine behavior out of them. First and last time I ever dated a single mother. Yeah, some people are going through some things. Next, I dated a woman who had a 16-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son. She told me randomly that they all walk around naked around each other daily, sometimes most of the day. And I would have to get used to that. I was immediately turned off and asked her, why would a sane man live with you and sign up for that? She gave a blank stare and said, I don't see the problem. But in the same breath, she said her son does get embarrassed from time to time, but quote unquote, he'll be fine. Think about the trauma. Think about the emotional trauma that that boy is going through. When I used to date single mothers, I experienced a similar situation. It was a 2-year-old boy, and he looked at me as if it was normal to see men with his mom. I felt bad, and I thought I just added to the boy's future issues. Next. I can relate firsthand to losing respect for a woman that would have sex in close vicinity of her kids. Many years long ago, the more sinful me dated a single mother of a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old daughter. I was kind of serious about a relationship, and I took them on a road trip. We stopped at a hotel for the night to rest up so we could continue to drive in the morning. Our room was a double, having a bed for the kids and one for us. Needless to say, she got really upset that I wouldn't touch her because her kids were in bed just a couple of feet away. I lost all respect for her and ended the relationship the following day. I can't be with someone I have no respect for. If she would do this, what else would she do that was in poor taste? Yes, that's right. This has definitely happened to me. The 12-year-old son came out during the time we were doing it, and she jumped up and pushed him back in the room. I didn't know he was in the house. I lost all respect for her. Never went back. Yeah, some kids are going through some trauma. Man, sadly, I had the same situation happen. She even said the exact same words he said. Oh, it doesn't matter. He really don't care. I felt horrible after learning her son was in the other room asleep. He was about 12. When I found that out, I left as soon as I could. To this day, it still makes me cringe. Happened to be a number of times. One night, staying with a chick and she didn't even tell me she had kids. Went to leave the next morning, 3 of them under 5 sitting at the table eating cereal. No one left when we came out on. She didn't check on them, just straight to bed. Asked me if I was their new daddy. I just said no and walked out. Wow. This was my life. Men in and out the house at my mom's behest. The constant drama and parentification. Guys are going through some trauma. Okay. I've experienced this from a couple of women that I've dated. They wanted me to move in with them, but they had no children. I didn't want to rush into any of it out of respect for the children. Of course, the women thought the children wouldn't mind. They didn't see all of the potential complications I saw. Another story, met a female that was a single mother that asked me to come over during the day, basically school hours. When I got over to her house, it was clear of kids, except I heard a baby. Now, this baby had been crying for a while, and she said, "Can you come back later?" I said, "No, I am working late," she said. "Well, each time I put baby down, he wakes back up." At this point, I'm giving side eye. She said, "Hold on," and went back upstairs. 15 minutes later, she said to come upstairs and in her room. All I seen was her in bed, seemed like a face in pillow and butt up. It was dark in the room. She said, "Slide in, daddy." As soon as I started to really get in, I heard a baby crying, then shh, not so loud. I look over her shoulder. The infant baby was in bed with us under her. Shaking my head. Wow. This is the reason I lost respect for single mothers too. I met one in Snapchat on Friday and had her legs behind her head on Sunday at my place. 2 weeks later, she was asking to come and spend the LGBO at my place with her 5-year-old daughter, as my house was apparently close to the airport and they had a flight to catch out of town. Like, why put your young daughter in that position? So reading these comments, you can tell that a lot of guys have been through a lot of trauma, not just as guys that were caught in unwitting situations, but guys that grew up with mothers that were acting in such a behavior. And for guys, if you grew up with something like that, you probably want to go seek out some counseling. But I want to end this video by saying honor. The definition of honor: high respect, great esteem, the quality of knowing and doing what's morally right. If you are around dishonorable people, they will act dishonorably. That could be your girlfriend. It could be anyone that you're dealing with. Your homeboys. If you're around dishonorable people, they will do dishonorable things. That would be lying, cheating, stealing, doing whatever they need to do to get whatever they want. And dishonorable people will throw anyone under the bus. I made a video about how men of value have to dissociate themselves. They have to segregate themselves from people that don't have anything going on the ball. So guys need to be witting of this. Be mindful of the people that you're spending time around, and be smart, because dishonorable people will drag you down to their level, and you will regret the rest of your life dealing with someone that's not worth being with. Be well, gentlemen. Take care.